Hello, Tarot students. It's Samantha with Dreaming Angel Tarot. And now that we have been introduced to all 78 cards of the tarot and the structure, it's time to move on to creating a relationship with the cards. Notice I didn't say committing all the cards to memory, right? Because if you were to sit down with the card deck in order and start, trying to commit every single card to memory, that's not going to do anything to get you out of that linear thinking uh, and helping you access your intuition, which is what reading the cards is all about. But no, rather forming your own relationship with the cards in your own personal language. Yes, the cards have a structure. They do have somewhat of a set meaning for each of the cards, but you're going to develop your own language based on your own personal experience. And I'll get into that a little bit more of what I mean by that. Hopefully as this video goes on. It's getting late, so I'm not sure how much sense I'm making. This is the Witches Tarot by Ellen Dugan, and like I said, it's a good one for beginners. But I have a special connection to this deck because the Page of Cups, and I'm a Pisces. The little girl pictured here looks like I did when I was young, and when I first thumbed through the deck, and I just had to pause at this picture because the likeness was so striking. Now, that's really what tarot is. It's a mirror for ourselves. It's a way to look into our souls. And sometimes it's quite literal. I am amazed when I do readings for people and some of the cards that show up, how they actually bear a likeness to the people in their lives. So that's been quite entertaining for me. But like I said, the tarot is often a mirror for your soul. Now, on my journey, I was led to tarot through dream work. I've always had vivid dreams, and learning and understanding dreams is something that I've always been interested in. So I surmised that if spirit could speak to me in the language of dreams, which is pictures and symbols, then it could certainly speak to me in the tarot deck in the form of symbols and pictures. And indeed, each and every tarot card is a work of art. You've got 78 magical works of art, and you've heard it said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I think it's worth more than 1,000 words. And when it comes to healing work and the spiritual and soul work that can be done with tarot, I would say that it's priceless. Priceless. So, okay, like I said, I don't recommend sitting down and trying to commit each and every card to memory. First of all, that's going to bore you to death. It won't do anything to get you out of your linear thinking. Yeah, so I've given you permission to give yourself a reading every day. Now, if you choose to draw just one card or two cards or three cards, I recommend that you just dive right in. But I do also recommend that you get a tarot journal and write down those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you connect with each and every card. Now, it doesn't have to be a spiral notebook like this. I do a lot of my tarot journaling on a Word document. That is a really good way to keep a record of everything. So just go ahead and mix the cards up really, really good. Like I said, you don't want to keep them in order. You want to say a prayer over your cards. This is a spiritual practice. We went over the major arcana and the fact that those majors relate to what's happening on a spiritual level, that in itself is telltale that this is a spiritual practice. Now, I have found that in saying a prayer over the cards that my readings have been more accurate. So what I do is I just ask that Great Spirit send the angels to help me to understand and to help me to communicate the meaning of the cards, and for the greatest and highest good of everyone involved. And that's what I do. And I believe if you do that, that your readings will be more accurate as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a card and show you how to get started in journaling. Now, if you draw the same card twice in a row, you might want to pay a little extra attention to it. It might be that you didn't get all the message, or there might be a reason that that message is continuing to come through. But if that annoys you, just put that card aside, take it out of the deck, and keep going, because you're working on building your repertoire. You're also giving yourself a reading, and that makes it very meaningful. You know, just taking the cards and trying to commit them to memory like flashcards, that's not very meaningful, and that's not what tarot is about. All right, so I got the Knight of Wands. So when you get a court card, you might want to think of the people that you know that remind you of this court card. I'll tell you that my ex-husband was a Leo, so in a way this card reminds me of him. Yeah, it reminds me of some people that I know who are fire signs who've been in the field of acting. Let's see. Yeah, he reminds me of somebody who's very determined, right? He's determined to get done because his horse is headed directly at me, right? So he's a very direct person, right? Because his horse is facing head on. He's powerful. He has a wand with him, you know. The other guy has a cup, and the other guy is holding a coin. But this guy has a wand, so he looks like he's got the power to exert some authority there. Like he could beam somebody over the head, right? So I wouldn't want to make this guy angry. You know, and just journal all of that stuff. Just whatever in the picture, whatever the picture is telling you, and what you can relate it to your personal life, just go ahead and make those notes. And that's how you make your own personal connection with the tarot. Okay. So I did promise that, and I've done a lot of book bashing lately. I didn't mean to do that. I'm a person who loves learning. I just want to help you to understand that learning to read tarot is not about linear thinking. It's not about boring, for sure. Tarot for Yourself, a workbook for personal transformation. Now, it is a workbook, so there's lots of exercises in here, and it'll have you thinking about tarot in a way that you have never thought about it before. I enjoyed this book. Didn't do every exercise in here, but you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. But I would definitely start with a book like this one. There are tons of books out there on the history of tarot. That's not going to help you learn to read. Not at all. Practice is going to help you learn to read. Practice, practice, practice. Another one of my favorite books is called The Psychic Tarot. Again, lots of exercises in this book to help you get out of that linear way of thinking. Now, when you try these exercises again, this is going to blow your mind. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this is what tarot is all about. I promise you. I promise you. So yes, go ahead and get some books. Go ahead and get started in not committing them to memory, but giving yourself daily readings and writing them down, right? If you're not too sure when you draw a card, you know, what to make of it, go to your companion manual. Make some notes about the book meaning of the card. There's nothing wrong with that. Make some notes about the pictures and the symbols, because those are good for you to commit to memory. But more importantly, um, the emotion that you have when you see the picture. Okay, friends, I hope that I've gotten you off to a really good start on your tarot journey. The next videos are going to be about tarot spreads, and we're going to do a couple of sample readings, and it's going to be a blast. So I hope you join me. Thank you. Bye-bye.